Good afternoon. Welcome back to One Sober to Another. If you're new to the channel, consider subscribing because everything put out here is for you, and it's only to help people who are either seeking recovery or who are in recovery. I'm so excited today because I'm announcing the winner of the Sober October 30-day challenge for this custom One Sober to Another hat. Jason Schiller, it's you, man. Hit me up with your email. My email is in the description below, and you will get your cap. I will send it to you free of charge, and I hope you like it. You can sport that around your neighborhood or whatever you want to do with it. Today's video is actually nothing in particular. I just wanted to say thank you to a couple folks. Steve, you're awesome, man, and I look forward to speaking with you and perhaps shooting a video with you. I am going to put your channel in the description below so people can get a chance to take a look at it. I know fentanyl addiction is a lot different than alcoholism, and drug addiction alone is far separate, and the weight of it is a little bit different than it is for alcoholism. Now, both are very destructive and very volatile towards someone's life and to everything around them. But fentanyl in particular, being mixed into all types of drugs and alone by itself in a synthetic form is a true killer. And it's a fast way to destroy your life. Now, for me, alcoholism, that was a chronic thing for me. And that was an addiction that built up over time. With drugs and everything else, hard drugs, that's an immediate, you're hooked, you got to get it, and if you don't, shit is going to happen and shit is going to go wild. I'm not the person to actually bring that to you because I'm not an expert on that whatsoever. As a matter of fact, with drug addiction, it's a whole different level, and I have friends who are drug addicts and recovering drug addicts who can definitely deliver that to you in a better way. And I am going to do a collaboration with Steve in hopes that, we can bring that message to you guys live and direct. Speaking of live, I want to do a live stream here in the near future, and it's really, nothing in particular, just like this video today. However, I need your input, folks. We are going to be discussing fentanyl addiction, and we are going to be discussing drug addiction and alcoholism and how they coincide and our experiences with it. And I want you to be there, but I also want your feedback. Now, you can either do it via the chat, because we're going to run that live as well, and you are able to chime in, and perhaps that'll be something that we can take to another level as far as discussion. I've been working here and there trying to understand the SEO of YouTube and how it's all made up and everything else, and trying to get One Sober to Another on the platform so that way YouTube pushes it out. Because I'm not an expert whatsoever in that aspect, I decided to reach out to a couple folks to kind of help me reformat some of the verbiage in my titles and descriptions, in hopes that it'll push it out so you guys can get a little more of that. How you guys doing? You doing okay? One Sober to Another is here for you, and I say that in third person because, I want it to be a thing that is advantageous, not a thing that I just created and, it just kind of wanders around. I don't know. Tell me what you think in the description below. So what is on my mind today? What's on my mind is every person that I speak to, almost every person that I speak to on Reddit and a couple other platforms, are scared of the 12 steps and 12 traditions of Alcoholics Anonymous. I'm going to tell you guys straight up, it is November, and in November, the step 11 that is in the book of Alcoholics Anonymous is sought through prayer and meditation to improve my conscious contact with God, as I understand Him, and His will for us and the power to carry that. Some of you just turned this channel off. But for those who haven't, it's nothing to be afraid of. Think about it. What have you been doing in your life as you destroy it with alcohol and drugs that could make this scary? Is it because you have to look inward? Or perhaps it's because, it's a set of guidelines that you're not familiar with. Now, I wasn't exactly keen to go into Alcoholics Anonymous myself in the beginning. My wife pushed me there, and this is what happened with that. When my wife pushed me to Alcoholics Anonymous, I sat in the meeting, and I held a big book. This is not a big book. This is actually just a synopsis of 12 steps and 12 traditions. But I held a big book, and I just held it. I didn't open it or anything else, and I was nodding my head with the other folks who were sharing their stories and everything else. And then in the background of the Batcave, I was thinking to myself, what the hell is wrong with these people? Why are they regurgitating all of their life onto a table being the group, and nobody else gives a crap? Well, what I learned, folks, because I left that meeting, I left that meeting and I left quick. I told my wife, we got to go. I don't feel good, blah, 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 blah. Truth is, it was taking my mind off of drinking and making me think about myself. So I was like, screw this. I got to get drunk. But when I finally went back and I was doing it on my own and I was processing the 12 steps of Alcoholics Anonymous, because 12-step recovery, it's called that for a reason, is a ladder that by working from the first step all the way to the 12th, that's right, you come to a certain realization, an awakening, if you will. Now, is that cultish? Because a lot of folks think so. Tell me what you think about Alcoholics Anonymous in the comments below, because a lot of other folks agree. But I'm going to tell you my experience was a lot different. If I didn't go to Alcoholics Anonymous with an open mind and an open heart and be willing to do the work, I would still think the same. And that is completely true in my case. Now, for some of you that went to Alcoholics Anonymous, or you went to NA, or you went to, Al-Anon, or any of those other 12-step programs of recovery, let me know your experiences in the comments below, because someone else is going to benefit from it. Like I always say here on One Sober to Another. Hopefully I didn't lose anybody already by kicking the camera base just now. But by, starting the video out with, I don't know what I was going to talk about, because I just fell into what I'm going to talk about. And I think it's a beautiful thing to do a 12-step program. Now, here's the thing, folks. You can 12-step all day long, and you can say the words, but without doing the action of those words, there's going to be no progress. Just like if you go to a training session, either for physical fitness training or, suicide prevention or whatever it is. If you go to a seminar and you just listen to the words and you regurgitate those words and you never put anything into action, you're not going to get any results. And that is the truth of the matter. For me, as I was saying, is, I started doing the work from admitting that I was powerless over alcohol. Now, the whole subcontext of that, admitting I'm powerless, is what's taken out of, interpretation in the first place. I am powerless over alcohol. And how do I know that, folks? Because if I drink one beer, I'm not stopping at one beer. I'm stopping until I'm passed out in the middle of a highway with my pants around my ankles and handcuffs on. That's just me. And that's how I know that I'm powerless over alcohol. I won't stop drinking when my family's gone. I won't stop drinking when my son tells me he hates my guts. I won't stop drinking when there's not a single penny left in the bank. I'll find a way. And that's how I know I'm powerless, folks. And so it's not such a scary thing to admit. But when you're new in recovery, or you're new in sobriety, it could be the scariest fucking thing in the world. Oh, sorry about that. I'll beep that out. It can be the scariest thing in the world, and it's going to blindside you, because And I'm not preaching to you. I'm just saying. It's going to blindside you because you're going to think, or rather I was thinking, I'm not powerless over this. I got this. I've been doing this for 20 plus years. I know how to drink. Well, I did know how to drink, but that's a little counterproductive in that thought, right? Because if I'm not willing to admit that I'm powerless over it, regardless of what the hell happens, then I'm never, ever going to be able to recover. I don't know. I might end up dead. I might end up, with cirrhosis of the liver and on and on and on. You tell me what you think, please, in those comments below, because someone else right now is saying, I'm not powerless over this. I got this. Meanwhile, they're sitting in a parked car with no gas in it because they don't have a house anymore because they drank it. They drank it. They drank it. I had a car, but I drank it. It got repossessed. Now, is that extreme? You're freaking right it is, because alcoholism and addiction are extreme diseases and they are treatable, so to speak. You can medicate with naltrexone, Antabuse, and some of the other medications that are out there in order to dull your dopamine receptors to not give you pleasure when you drink or use. Or you can go to a 12-step program of recovery and learn how to live sober through other folks who have been successful. That's exactly what happened to me, folks. And I'm holding this for a reason, and I'll tell you in just a second. That's exactly what happened to me. I sat down, I listened to who became my sponsor, but I listened to the stories of the people in the room. Their stories were so much like mine that I was just caught off guard of exactly how much mine was similar to theirs. And I was like, holy crap. I'm not alone in this. I'm not alone in this fight. And I say that a lot, folks, because the dramatic impact that someone else's similar story has to someone who is suffering is profound, because if they're able to find a way to be happy and to enjoy life and to find fulfillment without the need for alcohol or drugs, so can you. And that's what I came to believe, and that's why it's so powerful for me. And that's why I'm so passionate about this channel, is because, I'm sober. I am sober. I've been living sober for almost 6 years now. February 21st will be my 6-year marker. And, I lived through today. And when I get through today, I'll say thank you to my higher power. And then I'll move on to tomorrow. And that's what the 12 steps and 12 traditions of Alcoholics Anonymous is all about. It's about being present in your moment, sharing and serving with other people, and being of service, being helpful, and bringing your life to life. I don't know, it's so weird. And right now, John is doing his Addiction 365. And if you haven't checked out his channel yet, there it is, right there. If you haven't checked it out, check it out, because he's got, I think, a intro to his documentary that's coming up in November, where he's or this month, where he's gonna have the first episode. Now, why was I holding this card? Now, I'm fortunate. I got the day off, so I got a few other things to do today. But before I do, I'm gonna wrap this up with this. This was my old logo. And I think people found it off-putting because it's just some dude throwing a bottle away in the trash. I think, I think it's awesome. But what I did was I used the 3-side triangle because service, unity, and recovery are the pillars and foundation of Alcoholics Anonymous. That's the 3 sides. I put that on that triangle because, I put that triangle on there because it is monumental, so to speak, of how much power is in someone else's story. And I think that's pretty damn awesome. Now, around one sober to another, I put a little hue on there in order to make it glow a little bit. Why did I do that? Because through recovery and through sharing with other folks who are alcoholics and drug addicts and sex addicts and gambling addicts and on, we can recover. And that is a beautiful thing. And we can be fulfilled and shine our own light in our life. I think that's freaking cool. And then last, since 2016, as I just told you, my sobriety date or my sobriety birthday will be 21 February of this year, 2022. That will make 6 years. But February 21st, 2016 is the first day that I hadn't had a drink in 23 years. I think that is freaking amazing. Life is a garden, folks. Let me know what you think about this video in the description below or in the comments below. And I'm going to hope you guys have an awesome day and look for some changes here on the channel in the future, because we are trying to make things gooder for you and gooder for us, because helping you get sober or stay sober keeps me sober, folks. I love you. Have a good day. Bye-bye.